What's up, my brothers? In this video, we're giving the 2024 award of the year to the most plugged in beta male to this guy. I'm going to read you a post that sort of encompasses this. This is a lot of what not to do as a guy. That'll be the point of this video, and I'll offer some useful feedback at the end as well. But I want to share this first, so I'll just read it to you and then we'll jump into it. He says, "Am I the asshole?" is the word that he uses, "for not selling my car even though my fiance refuses to sit in the front seat because my ex sat in there." He goes on to say, "Hey everyone, I'm a 27-year-old male engaged to my fiance who's 26, and while we're preparing for our wedding, something recently came up that's left me confused and conflicted. I want to know if I'm in the wrong here or if her reaction is unreasonable. So here's the issue. My fiance refuses to sit in the front seat of the car because that's where my ex used to sit. She says it makes her uncomfortable and feels like she's taking on someone else's. Instead, she insists on sitting in the back seat whenever we go somewhere, which honestly feels strange to me, like I'm her chauffeur. I offered to sell the car if that's truly what bothers her, but she told me not to because it would feel like she's forcing me to do something. However, she still won't sit in the front seat and avoids interacting with anything related to my past relationships. This is part of her bigger pattern. She's mentioned multiple times that she doesn't want to do things I've done with my ex, like cuddling on the couch during a movie or visiting places I've been to before. I've tried to understand or be understanding of her feelings, but I'm starting to feel like I am being held responsible for my past, which I can't change. It's also confusing because she keeps in touch with her own ex, occasionally texting or calling him, which I have no issues with because I trust her." Goes on to say, "Whenever these situations come up, she tends to withdraw emotionally, avoiding physical affection, not saying goodnight or being distant. While I love her and want to work through this, I'm starting to feel like I'm walking on eggshells around her emotions, especially when they are tied to things I can't control in my past." Now, the guy that sent this to me did a search on his prior posts on Reddit, and I've talked about Reddit before. It's kind of a gathering space of the most plugged in beta males, but again, this guy wins the award for 2024. I'll have my editor put some of the titles up on the screen, but he basically takes the same posts, puts it in the relationship section, relationship advice section, the Am I the Asshole section, and another AITAH section, which is basically also the Am I the Asshole, and the titles are all the same. Am I the asshole for hugging my female friends in front of my fiance? My fiance wants me to stop hugging female friends or she'll call off the wedding. Is she controlling or possessive? Next title, my fiance wants me to stop hugging female friends or she'll call off the wedding. Should I be concerned? And it goes on and on. He's done several more after that. So what we've got here is, again, the 2024 of the year plugged in beta male. He definitely gets the award of inviting the most tragic, disturbing, and controlling woman into his life. Guys, if you haven't read my book, fine, no problem, I get it. Pinned in the top description is a list of 21 red flags that you need to identify in women before you invite them into your life on a long-term basis. Get familiar with these red flags and understand what they are, because if you invite a woman into your life that possesses these red flags, you're basically inviting chaos, headaches, drama, and nightmares into your life. That's pinned in the top comment. You can get it absolutely for free, but the better idea is, of course, to get the entire book. Guys, the whole reason why I put this stuff out there is to help you avoid making bad choices. I know probably the guys that need to know these details about red flags or get into my content the most, they aren't ready for it. You know, there's still these, these plugged in beta males that think getting married to a controlling woman that sits in the back seat of your car. Like, I've had more than one woman in the front seat of this car. Like, if a chick that I'm in a relationship with says, no, I'm not going to sit in the front seat because the last girl you were with sat there, or I'm not going to cuddle with you on the couch because you've done it with a prior woman, that's absurd. I mean, I get, I don't want to go to a travel destination that you took your ex to, Bora Bora or something like that. That would be understandable. But common items like what's next? Eating, breathing the same air in the same house, breathing the same air in the same car. Like, it's getting ridiculous when it gets to the point where a guy has to sit there and have a conversation with a gal and say, well, should I be selling this vehicle because you don't want to sit in the front seat? It's getting to the point where guys are tolerating absurdity. Fathers used to tell their sons, or even mothers, should have some reasonable amount of judgment in this and say, look, son, this woman is going to invite chaos, drama, nightmares, headaches into your life if you you commit to her on a long-term basis, if you have children with her, if you buy a car, a house, other items with her, it's going to become difficult. That is a controlling behavior. There's a certain amount of leeway you got to give in areas in life like this. But, you know, hugging a female friend or a cousin. I remember there was this one guy that I had conversation with once, and his girlfriend at the time was upset that he was hugging his sister. His sister, biological sister, blood relative, direct, you know, same parents, was upset that he would hug his sister at a holiday event or when he hadn't seen her for a while. There's a certain amount of leeway, like I said, you got to give, but there's controlling women out there. And this is a good example of a woman that wants to run your life. This is the kind of gal that if you get married to 7.3 years down the road, you know, when the average, you know, couple breaks up and divorce 50% of the time, she's going to take custody of your kids, take half your stuff, alienate you from your own children, and use that money that she's taken from you in family court to put more distance between you and your kids and your family, and just make your life difficult and ruinous. Guys, the woman that you invite into your life, because he's talking about fiance, the woman that you invite into your life to be the mother of your children, to become your wife, if that's what you want to do, and I don't advise it. There's a chapter in my book where I talk about why smart men don't marry anymore and alternatives to that. But if you're going to invite a woman into your life to do the conventional, you know, Christian marriage or whatever religious marriages that you happen to hold near and dear to your heart, the ceremony and all that, you're inviting the government into your life to decide what happens to your money, your relationship if the knot gets untied, which it will 50% of the time. The other 90-odd% of the time, the people that stay together are not even in love after 8 years. All that data is in my book. You can go check it out. Be very, very careful and discerning, guys. I know, and I've said this before, men will spend more time researching the fuel economy of their next car, the cargo capacity in the trunk, what kind of range their electric car gets and distance. But the first girl that touches their pee-pee, let's get married because she says, hey, put a ring on it, or shit or get off the pot. You know, some of you guys have probably heard some version of that before because, you know, she's getting into her epiphany years, into her 30s. And, you know, if she doesn't have a kid, we're starting to worry about things. We got to rush things along, guys. Baby rabies. I talk about baby rabies in the books as well, too. I've covered that in videos in this channel as well. Gentlemen, leave a comment below. Have you encountered something like this? What's your take on it? Pin in the top comment. You can get the 21 red flags for free by opting in my email list. A bunch of other useful stuff there. Have an awesome day. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.